150 unfinished songs. That's what one INFP told me they had sitting in their computer. Another one said that their room looks like a museum of half-finished crafts and books. And my personal favorite, I have collected volumes of lines of unfinished poetry. If you're an INFP, you've probably felt that, and you're probably laughing right now because you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're like most INFPs, you've been told your whole life that this is a problem that needs fixing. Well, what if I told you that everyone who's been telling you that you need to just finish what you start has been completely missing the point of how your mind actually works as an INFP? So I was scrolling through the comments section and saw tons of INFPs saying the same things. Like, my parents pushed me to master one thing instead of exploring. People don't understand why I can't just pick a hobby and stick with it. My family thinks I'm wasteful because I keep starting new projects. And here's the thing that really gets me is like, so many INFPs have internalized this message that they're somehow broken or lazy or lacking willpower. But I've worked with over 100 INFPs one-on-one and more if you count my courses and communities. And I've noticed something really important and fascinating is that when I ask them about their failed projects, their eyes light up. They start talking about what they've discovered, what they've learned about themselves, how that random pottery class helped them process some emotional turmoil that they just couldn't put into words. See, society has this obsession with completion, with mastery, with turning everything into a side hustle or a marketable skill. But what's really important for us is the opposite. It's important to understand and appreciate what your mind is trying to do. So here's what I've discovered. Your unfinished projects, they're not random. They're not evidence of poor follow through. They're actually this sophisticated form of emotional mining. Like, what does this teach me about myself? What is this thing? How does this help me process what I'm feeling? What new part of my identity am I exploring here? Now, you might not consciously be asking yourself those questions, but that is what is going on underneath the surface. This is why so many INFPs have multiple journals. I have a parts work, there we go, pointing there, parts work based journal called personal transformation journaling. It's the same thing. This is why you might try watercolors when you're sad, and then you suddenly pick up a guitar when you're feeling like you're struggling going through a breakup or something like that. You're not collecting failures. You're collecting emotional explorations. It's like emotional cartography. You're working on understanding all the different ridges and nuances of your identity and your emotions. And you're looking for the ones that are going to resonate most with you. And once you've extracted what you needed, once you've processed that emotion, or you've explored that part of yourself, your brain naturally moves on. Not because you failed, but because actually you succeeded at what you were really trying to do, which is understand yourself. So I'm sure you can imagine an INFP with a whole drawer of craft supplies that whisper to them every morning. There's knitting needles from when they were processing anxiety, and paints from when they needed to express something that they just couldn't put into words. They were looking for some medium to do it. Beads from when they were working through a difficult relationship. Their family or friends see all of this as a waste. But what we can do is we can see it as a toolkit for emotional processing and self-understanding. Each abandoned project had served its purpose perfectly, and then we've moved on because we feel better in some way. The problem is that we don't track it usually, and we don't catalog it and bring it into our introverted sensing and extroverted thinking and say, this is something that I should do more of because it worked. We're just experiencing the emotion and then moving on. Or you can think about it like this. How many INFPs do you know who resist turning their hobbies into income? These are INFPs who get uncomfortable when people say, you should sell your art. You could make a lot of money from this, That's not fear of success. It's actually your soul, introverted feeling, protecting something that it finds really important. You instinctively know that the moment that you turn exploration into obligation, then you kill the very thing that made it valuable to you. but I'm going to challenge you on that. It is possible to do. There are caveats, there are struggles with selling your creativity in ways, but there are plenty of benefits that come from it too. And I've been doing it for over 10 years now, and I'm still going. So know that your unfinished projects, again, they're not failures. You just did something, and your goal was not necessarily to complete it. Your goal was to explore. So here is your official permission slip signed by me, some random guy on the internet, someone who gets it though. You don't have to finish what you start. You don't have to turn every interest into income. You don't have to justify your creative exploration to people who think everything needs a measurable outcome. Your parents were probably wrong when they told you to pick up one thing and master it, though they likely had good intentions. Society is wrong when it tells you that unfinished equals unsuccessful. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're not lacking discipline, you're lacking emotional engagement. Now, don't get me wrong, there is absolutely a place for completion in your life. If you want control over your finances, if you're building a business, if there's something that truly aligns with your deepest values and you feel that that fire won't quit, then yes, see it through. Finishing things can give you incredible power and momentum over your circumstances. The key is to be honest, though, about your intention from the start. Are you exploring? Are you doing these different hobbies and passions for curiosity? You want to understand yourself better? You want to understand your emotions? Then let it be exploration. If you're trying to build something that will change your life in a measurable way, then make completion the actual goal and structure your approach around that. But most of your hobbies and your pursuits, they're just the thrill of discovery. And that's perfectly valid. You're fine. So the next time that someone asks why you don't finish your projects, you can tell them, because my goal isn't to finish it. It's to explore and create. And then they can shut up. And the next time you catch yourself starting something and you have 3 other projects waiting, they're begging for your attention, ask yourself, what am I hoping to discover here? Is there something that I'm trying to process? Am I running away from my responsibilities? Or do I just want to understand something more? Your mind is constantly growing and wanting to make new connections and wanting to explore. And you are constantly becoming more and more authentically yourself. And honestly, the world could use a lot more of that. Oh, and speaking of INFP behaviors that aren't actually problems, you should probably check out this video over here. Or if you've already seen it, check out this one over here and get to understand how your INFP brain works scientifically.